Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Frienemy Podcast, a place where best friends who hate each other get together and have various discussions. I'm your host, Mike, joined, as always, with my co-host, JP. JP, we got to watch some UFC this weekend.
Yeah, we had an amazing card, 3 title fights in one, which hasn't been in a while.
It was pretty good. I had pretty high hopes for this card, but I don't think it was like one of the best cards I've ever seen.
Yeah, I should rephrase that. I meant amazing on paper. It seemed like it was going to be great. But in general, the ones that are slept on, that people don't care about, are usually the bangers.
Tend to have the best fights on them.
Yeah.
This one had, as JP said, 3 championship fights. Man, that Megan Anderson fight and Amanda Nunes.
Oh, yeah.
Destruction.
My dude Amanda took down the Avatar.
I know. I hadn't seen Anderson fight before, so she walked out, and I was like, "Oh my God, she should be in the heavyweight division for the men's. She's an Amazon.
6 foot, 6 foot exactly.
Yeah. But for ladies, it looks like she's a lot taller.
Yeah, she's like Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
giant.
And then our boy Izzy lost.
Yep. I was excited to see Blachowicz get that win.
I like Jan Blachowicz, and that Polish power coming through did what really everybody should have been doing at this point: take him down, beat on him.
Yep. And I'm a Joe Rogan fanboy. I like everything Joe Rogan does, but the internet is killing him in DC right now.
I was not a fan of this commentary team on this one.
No.
I prefer Michael Bisping and Paul Felder, that crew, over this one now, because the favoritism was on full display.
Yeah, they were actually saying, Joe Rogan was saying that in the 3rd round that Jan needs to do more, that he's losing, and that those 2 rounds is real close, when actually it was a 4-1 scorecard.
Yeah, if you had watched it with the volume off, I think it would have been a different story. And then getting to the other championship fight, we got Piotr Jan.
Is that how you say it?
Piotr.
I was felt like Peta.
It's Russian. I guess I'm doing it German.
Piotr.
Piotr Jan. Yeah. Piotr punching you. Piotr Jan going up against Aljamain Sterling. And man, the ending of this one. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, I don't ever like to call a UFC fighter a bitch, because they whoop her ass, or they fight for a living, they're badass. But he was acting like an old bitch when he got kneed in the face.
And he's over here stumbling and bumbling on the ground. It was
blinking all sporadically.
It was embarrassing. And then it looked like the doctor, came over, and he was looking at him, and he was looking at the ref, and he was like, "He looks okay to me."
And I think he deserved it. Because that's the dumb rule anyway. If I put both my knees on the ground, you can't hit me.
Right.
And that's what he was doing to stall.
Yeah, well, and he didn't even have both knees. He had one knee on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is even worse. I think he was getting the brake speed off him.
Yeah, and Piotr was sweeping that leg with that clean front leg sweep. It was nasty.
Outboxing him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good fight up until that unfortunate ending. But we're going to get right into our new sponsor this week. JP, do you have our sponsor?
Yes, our sponsor for this week is Luis Piñat X. Gender-neutral piñatas for he, she's, she, he's, and everything in between.
Go out and get your gender-neutral piñata. Thank you, Luis. Moving on into our first segment of the week, and that is going to be this week's fan letter. Nigel's handing me the letter. JP, it has your name on the envelope, if you wouldn't mind reading it.
Okay. Dear Frienemy Podcast, longtime listener, we have gotten to know you both so well. I would really like to know about JP's time as a ventriloquist dummy, how he got the job, and why he quit after 15 years. Sincerely, Anita.
Thank you, Anita.
Thanks, Anita.
Good questions. JP, we've talked about some of my passions, some of the things I've done in my past. So can you elaborate on your 15 years as a ventriloquist dummy?
Okay. It also started when I was 14. I just recently quit this. Well, when I was 14, I was walking around, and everybody knows I'm short.
Yep.
And this guy came up to me, was like, "Hey, you want to make some money?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course I want to make some money."
Yeah.
He said, "You're going to sit on my lap." I said, "Okay, no, I don't want to make money anymore." He goes, "Wait, no, you're the perfect size. I'm going to paint black lines on you. Get this gig, 1 hour of work, $100.
Ooh.
I said, "Oh,
$100 an hour.
$100 an hour.
Dang.
It's okay. So I said, all right, I'm sitting in your lap. Don't try nothing funny. So I sat on his lap. He put his hand up the back of my shirt.
Whoa, up your backside.
Not my backside, my shirt. And pretended to be a ventriloquist, and I just spoke.
Yep, just did it. That's how a lot of these guys get away with it. They're not actually, doing the actual thing. They have a little person on their lap.
And then, after 15 years,
yeah, what made you hang it up? What made you hang up the little suit and the shiny shoes?
It was just time. Retirement. It ran its course. Now I'm moving.
Now you're on a podcast.
Yep. That's what it was.
Having your real voice heard. All right. Well, thank you, Anita. That's a great letter. We appreciate you wanting some more info on one of our hosts, JP. JP, what's our next segment?
Next segment, our staple, the centerpiece of most of our podcasts, and that is Man Movies.
It's the Man Movie. JP, you picked our Man Movie this week.
Yes.
What is it?
This is like one of the best movies ever that I've recently slept on, and us discussing it made me realize how badass it is, and that is 300.
Oh, 300. JP said, let's do the movie 300. And my first thought was, why haven't we done the movie 300 yet? It's so good. It's so good. Directed by Zack Snyder, starring Gerard Butler, Michael Fassbender, Lena Headey. Who knows?
It's some kind of limey name.
Cersei from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
We're going to go with that. So getting right into the first man grades, JP, what are you going to give 300 in the category of action?
Oh, A+ all the way. There's such iconic scenes. There's this is part of the dialogue, but it sets up the action. This is Sparta, gives him the sickest front kick of all times into a bottomless pit.
Absolutely. So it's dialogue along with the action.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand. That big front kick, boot to the chest. One of my favorite scenes as far as action goes is that initial clash when the Spartans have their shield phalanx and then all of the Persians come rushing to them and they push them back and then they hold. And then they start pushing them back. It's such an epic part of that movie.
Hold.
Yep.
Yeah. I think one thing we have to include in the action is the shredded swollenness of all the Spartans.
So they actually did a workout leading up to the film. Extensive physical. That's not CG. That's not painted on abs. All these guys out there put in the work, and it makes they look like warriors.
Yeah, just yoked. And I don't think any movie's ever inspired more of a workout.
Right.
Not necessarily just that workout that they did, but you see them, you want to go work out.
It's like a modern day Rocky. You know what I mean? I would think back in the day when people saw Rocky, Stallone working out, doing all these crazy things, that had to inspire a lot of people, and this was the same thing. So you said A+? A+? I'm going to give it an A+ as well. We're going to go into our next man grade, and that is dialogue. JP, what are you giving 300 in dialogue?
Giving it another A+.
Another A+.
Another A+.
Dang, okay.
Such classic dialogue in this movie. Of course, the most famous, what we just said, "This is Sparta." It's only 3 words, and it's amazing.
It's so good, yeah. I like, our arrows will blot out the sun.
So we will fight in the shade.
It's so good. It's the whole movie's set up on this, back and forth between the Persians and the Spartans.
And there's a lot of three-liners. I'm not three-liners. 3 words. 3-word one-liners, but there's also some deeper ones. The world will know that free men stood against a tyrant, that the few stood against many. And before this battle was over, even a god king could bleed.
I like that. I like when Leonidas is walking away and his wife says, "Spartan, either come back with your shield or on it."
Yeah, it's classic.
Good line. So you said A+?
I said A+.
Okay.
They also called Athenians little ladyboys or something.
Yeah, they do. They're always hating on the Athenians. I'm gonna give it a B as far as dialogue. I'm not gonna go full hype. JP's just really hyped right now.
Yeah.
The A+ are coming out like crazy. So I'm gonna go a B. We're gonna go into our next category, and that is gonna be the category of boob. JP, this movie has a lot of boob.
Yes, it does. Have we had any boob yet?
We've had the tri-boob.
The tri-boob.
Total Recall.
That's right.
But I think that,
we got a grade of 3.
Yeah. You have Lena Headey,
Cersei.
You have Cersei with a few sex scenes, a few naked scenes.
Yeah.
You have the Oracle of Delphi. She's that naked underwater, a lot of boob there.
You got them thick Persians.
Why do you think that is? So all the Athenians are like these athletic, skinny women, and then all the Persian women in these sex tents.
Yeah, doing ancient twerking.
Yeah, they all got the thickness.
For those reasons, I'm giving it an A.
An A? All right. I'm going to be right there with you, Ed, just for the fact that we haven't had a lot of movies with boob. This one has a lot of boob. Gets my thumbs up, gets my seal of approval. It's an A. Moving on to our next category. JP, what's your favorite scene in the movie?
My favorite scene in the movie? Oh, there's so many classics. I'm going to have to go with, you know what? I might just go with the opening scene.
Yeah.
Where he's fighting the wolf with the spear.
Telling the story about how he became King Leonidas.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. I think my favorite scene, it's a really heartfelt one in a movie that doesn't have a whole lot of emotional moments to it, is when the Spartan, his son, gets his head cut off, and then he goes berserk. He starts fighting these guys like crazy, and you just really feel the rage in him, for seeing his son die.
Did they call it a blood rage? I want to say they said he
Yeah.
went like berserk or something.
Yeah, it's either berserker or blood rage, something like that.
Yeah.
But that's such a good scene.
That's a great scene.
Some other really good scenes is when the Immortals show up.
Oh yeah.
That's a whole cool thing. They're doing missile drop kicks.
I like the as like a montage sort of the different techniques that the Persians were trying, like throwing the fireworks, riding the big old elephant.
Yeah, and then the Spartans pushing them back. They're pushing the elephants off the cliffs. They're holding their shields up for the grenades and stuff like that.
What's pretty dope too is, even though he's a bad guy, is when what's his name again? Xerxes, yeah. When Xerxes, like 8 feet tall, looks like Wilt Chamberlain. when they carry him on the throne, and then he makes the Immortals as their steps. Like, hey, little bitch, you my steps. That's just hard.
He's the God King. Yeah, he's really cool. He has a really interesting look in that movie. All the jewelry, all the piercings. But you can tell that's not a utilitarian way to, like, you're not going to fight if you look like that. All that stuff's going to get torn out. So this guy's never done any of that in his life. Yeah. Whereas you have Leonidas, a warrior king, is literally shoulder and shoulder with his soldiers. Really awesome dichotomy there. So we're going to move into our final man grade, and that is going to be overall manliness. JP, what are you giving? 300 overall manliness.
I can't give it anything less than an A+.
A+.
Overall manliness.
It is ultra manly. I have to give it an A+ as well. You got shirtless guys, ripped the entire movie, fighting.
Yes, and throwing some boob to season it up.
And then throwing boob, exactly. Like, what else could you want from this movie? What are you going to change about it?
Screaming and blood, and there's nothing you want to change.
Murder. It's 300 guys kill 1 million. It's a bloodbath. All right, I think that soundly wraps up this week's Man Movie.
Man Movie.
JP, what's our next category?
Our next category is one of the favorites, and that is random. Oh, I forgot. Random ranks. Random ranks.
I was waiting for it. I didn't know what you were gonna do. All right, this week's random ranks is we sat down and we thought, what can we do for random ranks? We've covered a lot of different topics. I think we have a good one this week, one I'm really looking forward to, and that is going to be the top 10 most terrifying Pokémon if they existed in real life. We got some bangers on this list.
And it was actually hard to limit it to 10 because in general, if Pokemon were real, they're terrifying.
I was going to say that. You read my mind. There's 150 of the original. We're only going to cover the original 150. But if any of them existed in real life, they're all monsters. They're all terrifying. We're going to get right into our rankings. JP, what do you have at number 10?
Number 10, we're going with Onyx.
Onyx. He is terrifying because, say you're walking down, or you're on a hike, even better yet. You're hiking up a mountain and you hear a rumble. A 28-foot rock snake pops out of the side of the mountain. You shit your pants.
Yeah, he's a snake made out of rock.
He's made out of rock, but not like a little garden snake or even like a rattlesnake. He's 28 feet long.
I'd be scared if I'm driving in a truck and I see a 20-foot rock snake.
You put me in a tank, I'm like, that's a rock snake. We're all gonna die. All right. Number 9, we have Lickitung. Lickitung. Now, this one is terrifying because he's like 5 foot tall. He weighs like 75 pounds. His whole thing is he licks you. Now, like, I want to know, the guy, like, you have to imagine the people at the Pokemon company, they're all sitting down. They're all sketching their ideas for the next Pokemon. Some guy's like, hey, this is cool. I have this bird. And it's like, it's like filled with electricity. It's called Zapdos. And then you look at Marty over here and he's all tweaked out. He's like, oh yeah, my dude licks you. Easy there, Marty. Yeah. What do you have going on in your life?
It was pretty creepy. His tongue's like as tall as him, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a 5 foot tongue.
It's enormous. Yeah. So again, you're walking through the park, you hear some bushes, rustle, and a tongue comes out at you.
The Gene Simmons of Pokemon pops out.
I'm here to lick your bum.
Yeah, that's creepy. That's why he's number 9.
He's number 9. JP, who's our number 8?
Number 8 is one of the Pokemon that I hold dear to my heart because I love when people look like Pokemon. And this is one of the first girls that looked like a Pokemon. She looked like Kabutops.
Kabutops. So at number 8, we have a tie between Kabutops and Scyther. Basically, just 2 Pokemon with blades for hands.
Yeah, I think Kabutops has blades for elbows, right?
It's got bladed elbows. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, a girl we went to high school with, she had very sharp elbows, and JP called her Kabutops. But again, if you were to see these in real life,
how big is Kabutops?
They're big, man. They're like, all of these, I looked up the stats on most of them. Most of the Pokemon on this list are around 5 feet tall, 75 to 150 pounds.
And these are insects.
That's another scary thing.
Yeah, like any insect that's bigger than its insect size is horrifying.
Right, that exoskeleton, you're like, you can't damage it. Terrifying. Moving on to our 7th ranked Pokemon, and that is Muck.
Muck.
And as everyone knows, Muck is just cum spelled backwards.
Yeah.
And that in itself is terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrifying. What if you rubbed one out and then it came alive? It's just
It grew to a giant pool of 200 pounds of gelatinous mass, and it's like acidic. You know what I mean? It's the blob. It's so scary.
It's one of the hazard categories, right?
It's a poison type.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's this giant blob of acid like working its way toward you, and then it says its name, so it's like Muck. Its whole life is agony,
and you can't even like close the door because it just slides under it.
It's scary. Like the more I'm thinking about it, Muck is terrifying. Like your door is like on fire. It's like melting from the acid. Oh my gosh. What were they thinking at the Pokemon Company? Muck. Number 6, JP. What do we got for number 6?
Number 6 is Moltres.
Moltres. Now, the reason I put Moltres on this list is, now it's a cool design. You look at it, in the show or in the cards or whatever. It's a fire bird Pokemon. Now, if you saw that in reality, you're like, oh my God, that bird's on fire.
It's flying around on fire.
It's flying around. It's coming right at me. And it's giant. It's like 75 pounds.
That's huge for a bird.
It's huge for a bird, right?
Because birds' bones are like hollow,
Yeah.
right? So that's huge. 75 pounds.
This is a giant bird on fire.
You know what else is big and terrifying on fire? The sun. So think about that. It's like a mini sun flying around.
You run inside, you think you're safe. Moltres burns your house down. Yeah. It lands on your house. It doesn't do anything. It burns it down. It's terrifying. Like being chased by anything on fire, I think just adds to it. Like imagine your dog ran in, but it's your dog on fire.
Yep.
Automatically makes it scary, right?
Yep.
All right, JP, what do we have for number 5?
Number 5 is Magmar.
Magmar.
Now, the reason why we put Magmar on this is because it's a giant, like, duck creature with an ass for a head. That's on fire.
I was waiting for that. Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing as Moltres, but it's a duck.
It's like a 5-foot duck.
Why would they put the ass on the head?
Yeah, right?
A poor creature.
It probably farts out his forehead and the flame kicks up.
A yoga flame out of the top of his head. Yeah. And it's on fire.
I had a holographic Magmar back
then. You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, all of these are scary. That's a really scary Pokemon. Number 4, we're getting away from the fire. We have Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff is 1.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
Not very big, not our biggest Pokemon, but what makes it scary, JP?
It's basically getting roofied in person. it's a form of getting roofied.
It's date rape the Pokemon.
Yeah. It's gonna sing you to sleep and take advantage of you.
And it's only, so I brought out the size, it's only 1.5 feet tall, so it could be hiding. You don't know. You go to sit down on a park bench and you hear Jigglypuff and you're like, oh fuck.
Then you wake up in Mexico with a scar around your kidney.
You wake up and Moltres is there. So yeah, I mean, any Pokemon that has the ability to, put you to sleep, influence you in any way, I think that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
So moving on to our number 3 Pokemon. JP, what do we got for number 3?
We got Beedrill.
Why is Beedrill on the list?
It's a humongous bee.
One of the main concerns before COVID was the murder hornets. This is the murder hornet on steroids. He is 3.5 feet tall, 65 pounds. A murder hornet.
You know a bee that big? I've seen people run like little bitches and be scared of little tiny bees. Imagine one that big.
You're not safe in your car.
No.
You're not safe from Beedrill. It's going to get you. It's a bug poison typing. You get stung. I'm going to say it right now. There's 100% chance you're going to die.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. There's no way you survive.
No way.
A Beedrill sting.
No, that stinger gets you, you're done.
You probably pierce your heart.
Oh my God. It kebabs you.
Yeah.
It flies you around, and then Moltres cooks you. All right. JP, what's our number 2?
Mewtwo.
Why?
It's a psychic Pokemon.
So same kind of thing with like Jigglypuff. Like Jigglypuff puts you to sleep. He's going to be in your head.
Yeah, he can control your brain. A lot of the things that separate people from animals is intelligence.
Yep.
We're way more intelligent than any animal. Not Mewtwo.
No, it is like the brainiac of Pokemon. It's another one that's big.
It's like 7 feet tall,
He's
right?
huge, yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
like as a kid, I thought, okay, Mewtwo's like, he's normal height, whatever, 4 foot maybe. No, he's a giant.
It's like Shaq.
Yeah.
Shaq with a brain.
And then he's over here making people's heads explode. That's just terrible. Like that whole psychic subset of Pokemon is scary.
Yeah.
Like all of them. You've got, all in that category, you've got Alakazam. This dude's over here fucking bending spoons with his mind. He can probably bend your bones.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Just pick you up in the air and then bend your bones.
Yeah. You got Hypno, who's got his little fucking medallion.
Well, that's another one. Make you go to sleep, take advantage of you. And he looks like an anteater.
Oh, he looks exactly like the 3 fingers that diddle you. All right. And JP, what did we come up with our number 1 most terrifying real life Pokemon?
It is Pinsir.
All right, you're seeing a theme. A lot of the bug types in general are scary, and Pinsir is the king of the bug types. He is, how tall was he, JP?
I don't remember.
He's 5'5".
5'5". Oh, that's right. He was my height.
He's 5'5", like 125, and he's nightmare fuel.
And he has like he has a 3-foot mouth.
Yes. With sideways teeth, which is even scarier.
He made number 1 because it's so ugly too.
If that thing pops out anywhere. Doesn't matter. You could be on a military base surrounded by soldiers. Pinsir pops out, you're all gonna die.
Yeah, it's gonna chew you sideways.
And it's got its namesake. It's got the giant pincers. That's bone crushing. Right? All that serves is to mush you up so its sideways mouth can eat you.
You know what I just thought about all of these that makes them even more terrifying?
What's that?
Is they're probably fast.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably quick. You can't even run from them.
No. They're going to get you.
You can't get away from Pinsir.
And you know what? You're alone. It's you versus these things. It's not like in the Pokemon series where you're like, you see a wild Pinsir, you're like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna throw my, Pikachu, Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
You don't have that kind of protection. You don't have, your little gang members to help fight this thing. It's one-on-one. You versus Beedrill.
You're gonna lose.
You're gonna lose. I think some honorable mentions to throw in real quick. Ditto.
Ditto, yeah.
It can transfer, like, say you come home and your wife has weird eyes and you're like, why are you looking at me like that? Because it's Ditto.
Yeah. Mr. Mime.
Mr. Mime is just creepy. I think as probably the creepiest Pokemon. Or that or Jinx.
Jinx, yeah.
Jinx is another weird one.
It was a bra, right?
Yeah. It's got some Pokemon titties. It's got covered its Pokemon titties. Anything else to say on our random rank shipping?
No, I think we address all these terrifying creatures.
All right. I think that wraps up this week's Random Ranks.
Random rank.
All right. Moving into our next segment. JP, we got a new segment. I'm excited.
New segment.
Super excited
and
about it.
this segment is Mike's Drawing Corner.
Shaloobop doo-ah. I don't know how you do that every week. All right. So JP put the challenge to me. He's like, you know what? You're always critiquing my art. Let's turn it around. So, I dabble a little bit. So I drew up something real quick. I'm going to show you guys, and I hope he likes it. So JP, this is my picture. What do you think?
Okay. Well, first of all, I need you to explain what's going on in this picture.
All right. So we're always doing Kyle. You're always doing Kyle. So I took inspiration from your drawings. I wanted to portray Kyle, and I drew him crawling out of his natural habitat, which is a sewer, and with the caption of "Get out of my swamp."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Now, I'm start with the good things about it.
Okay.
Okay. The number one good thing about it, you took inspiration from me. And that's where it ends.
That's it?
Yeah. Now,
I worked pretty hard on it.
I'm used to, Kyle being the ugliest thing in the picture. Like, you have a beautiful picture with ugly Kyle in the middle.
Yeah.
This whole thing is just ugly. It's just...
What part?
It's horrible. Everything.
I tried though, like you don't do eyebrows. I didn't do any eyebrows on him because he doesn't have eyebrows.
It's true, but you're lacking what makes it known that he doesn't have eyebrows.
What's that?
You just left no eyebrows.
Oh.
You have to use your art to make it known that he doesn't have eyebrows.
I have to use different techniques?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, he should be a lot hairier.
Yeah, there is a general lack of hair, so it's not very realistic in that regard.
Okay. I took. You know what? Another thing you did that I do have to give you credit. So there's two things good.
Okay.
You put a voice box.
Yeah.
Yes. Get out of my swamp. You need those, and captions of the manhole.
Yeah.
I
didn't want you to think it was a pizza or something.
It looks like a pan dulce.
It's not bread, JP.
It looks like bread. You also try to add some street and some depth, and I don't like that.
Add some street. I did add some street, JP.
It's pretty horrible. I mean, I give you credit for trying at least.
I tried really hard, man. Like, I don't know how. I know you spend a lot of time on your pictures. This took me a week. I put a lot of work into this. I wanted to impress you, and you don't like it?
No, it's pretty ugly.
You said no?
No.
Oh, man.
No.
All right.
So this will be a lesson to you next time you take my work for granted, all right?
All right. I'm sorry. I didn't have any red.
Yeah, that's the number one problem. There's no red at all.
Another negative. All right. All right. Well, thank you guys for checking it out.
And thank you guys for coming into Mike's Drawing Corner.
Shoo-doo-bop, doo-ah. All right, moving on to our final segment of the day, and that is going to be relationship advice. JP, you have a letter asking for some relationship advice. What do you got?
Well, I had a letter until Nigel took it.
He took the letter.
For no reason.
Get back over here. Nigel. He's running out of the room.
All right, okay, we got it back. Kevin writes, I've been making some improvements in my health. I started going to the gym, and I'm feeling proud of myself. Well, I got a new girlfriend, and my girlfriend is really asking me to skip the gym and spend time with her. What should I do?
Ooh, that's a tough one. What do you think, JP?
Well, all right, Kevin. I'm gonna fuck you up with some beautiful truth, all right?
Ooh, let's hear it.
She doesn't love you.
Just flat out?
She doesn't, no. I mean, would you try to separate the sunrise from the horizon?
Of course not.
No, why would you try to separate a man from his gains?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And what's the reason he's in the gym?
To be yoked? What's the reason not to be in the gym?
Okay, I was going to go somewhere else with that, but I see what you're saying. I was going to say, he's doing it for her. He wants to look good.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to upkeep. You got to do some physical upkeep.
Stay good.
Yeah. So you're saying she just doesn't love
She
him
doesn't
anymore.
love him. She loves herself and what he can give her.
Ooh, do you think there's any sort of like, like I'm gonna bring you down to my level
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
attitude? You know
That's
what I mean?
definitely.
Like, yeah.
Like if you're not hotter than her, which I'm guessing from this letter that you are.
Yeah. You go to the gym, so
you
you're
go to
hot.
the gym, you're hotter than her for sure. She wants to bring you down to her, below her level.
Below her level.
Below her level. It's not good enough for you to be her level. She wants to bring you down.
She wants to be superior.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that,
Bring you down.
eliminate the gains.
Take you away from the gym. Take you away from the one place that's left for our manly endeavors.
Now, do you think that she might be jealous of the other girls in the gym?
Yes, probably. And that's her fault.
It's her fault. Now, like, what if this guy is like, what if he's a straight shooter? What if he's just going in, doing his thing, coming right out? Should she have any reason to be jealous?
No, what do you mean, what if? That's what he's doing.
That's what he's doing.
I could tell. Only good stand-up gentlemen go to the gym.
Who wastes time talking to the girls in the gym?
Yeah.
When you could be lifting.
Or even looking at them. You ain't
Right.
got time for that. You got them gains time.
Might as well go in with a blindfold. Get your work done, get out.
Swole o'clock.
Exactly.
And if she can't accept you for that, then you go, well, you're already stronger than me for even writing about this. As soon as she said, hey, get away from the gym, you'd be like, hey, you, get away from my heart. You're out of here.
Out of here. All right. JP, anything else? Any other advice to give Kevin?
Yeah, just tell her, accept your gym time or leave you.
And that's it.
That's it.
All right. So I think that wraps up this week's relationship advice. We've covered our new sponsor,
Luis's Pinat X.
Pinat X. Learned about some of JP's past as a dummy.
Discussed one of the manliest movies of all time, 300.
Absolutely. Talked about some terrifying Pokemon.
We heard your guys' eyes with some art.
Yep. And then JP gave, as always, the best relationship advice on the internet. Thank you guys for listening, staying with us. Please like, comment, subscribe. It always helps the channel. JP, anything else you'd like to say?
Hey, Ryan, I like that WandaVision. Thanks for the recommendation.
Nice. Obligatory Ryan reference. You guys have a good one. As always, love you. See you in the next one.